May I get a salavat, please? I would like to begin by thanking Hajjah Sabiri for inviting me. I feel very honored, and inshallah we can all learn something from tonight. I would also like to thank everyone for attending. Inshallah, all our prayers will be answered, for surely Allah is Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. In the tragic events of Karbala, we can observe three different personalities exemplified on that particular day. The first are the personalities of Imam Hussein, who would, in a Farsi istilah, or example, we would say that he would pass on as ab rad mishavat, vali as ab ru rad nemishavat. Like he would pass upon water, but not not water, but he would pass upon water, but not his characters or his morality or anything that he believes in. Secondly, we have the personalities of the the Yazids, which don't have much within themselves, however, do have monetary and other intentions. Now, the third aspect and the third personalities that we can observe from that particular day are the personalities of the innocent and the unaware victims, such as Imam Ali Asghars. Imam Hussein knew what he was getting into when he traveled to Kufa and tried to going forward to that event. It was not as if he was not aware of what was coming to him. However, his journey was to exemplify the issue of the particular issue that I decided to focus on today, and that is putting the trust in the wrong type of people and the wrong areas, and what the effects are of those. There are two famous psychologists, one being Erwin Altman and the other being Thomas Taylor, which first introduced the phenomenon of something called social penetration theory in 1973, actually. This means that people are like onions. The outer superficial layer on the outside is what we want to portray to people. If I go to talk to someone, you will only see what I present to you and what I want you to see of me. However, who we really are defined by the core of that particular onion. And who we really are lies within the core, and people generally only allow certain and very few within that center core, such as family for some, such as friends for others. Others are connections, money, or whatever. However, this unfortunately leads to what is known as the halo effect, introduced by Edward Thorndike. Now, the halo effect, we have to get these two ideas instead to understand fully the consequences of what putting trust in the wrong areas and the wrong people are. The halo effect, as I mentioned, is when someone has a perception of someone. For instance, wow, this person is very handsome. He's so handsome, I bet he's so smart as well. Or wow, she's so nice, I bet she's very good with money as well. We make usually false assumptions of others based on perceptions that we have of those particular people. Imam Hussein comes and went to and traveled and did what he did, as we all know, to actually exemplify, to show that putting that trust in people can cause some serious effects, and it leads to the death of very innocent people, such as Imam Ali Asghar. In our today world, for instance, on a global scale, reported by UNICEF, Yemen alone had 5,000 children killed or injured since the civil war that started in 2015. And another 2 million of those children which suffer from malnutrition due to those causes and conflicts. Are those children, for instance, not the embodiment and exemplification of Ali Asghar in today's world? And a cause of this, you can say, although there are many causes and it's hard to put one of the causes on a global problem, is that people seem to look at someone to lead them, or a leader or someone to tell them what is what. And based on that false perception, they let them come into power. And when we truly see is that their influence, the person in power's intentions are truly for monetary or self-gain or whatever it may be, as exemplified by Yazid in that sense. Now we come to a national level in the United States. How does this apply to us in the United States? In a deeper sense, we can look at the underprivileged people and the minorities and those who are suffering within our own United States as another exemplification of the unaware and innocent suffering. You see that people are electing presidential candidates, and behind that there's like Congress members, there's a whole system shift based on the perception that someone is, for instance, successful or XYZ, and they don't really understand the full implications of what that has on the other sorts of minorities and the groups of people that actually can make America what it is. Our 2018 fiscal proposal stated that we slashed $9.2 billion, or rather 13.5% from the Department of Education. Meanwhile, the 2019 the 2019 proposed military budget, approved from an 85 to 10 ratio, gives the military an increase of $82 billion. Now, this directly affects minority groups and communities, as usually those are the first to come under fire for any sort of issue that is caused by deep wealth distribution and class differences. Now, go beyond that, for instance. Beyond from a national scale, we take this to a personal level. How does Ali Asqari and the lessons we learn from that instance affect to the people and who we are as humans? So we observe the dynamics between kids and the youth that are going through school and what they are going through today. Kids, especially kids who feel like they have some type of difference, or feel the grass is greener on the other side, see things on social media or TV, pop culture, whatever it is, and have false perceptions and feel left out. Maybe it's the color of their skin, maybe it's their wealth, maybe it's their parents, maybe whatever it may be. And they feel, wow, I wish I was that person. I wish I was just like those other kids or whoever it is walking their school. But little do they know that what they're going into is a provincial swamp. It looks very pretty on the outside, but once you take a deep dive into the water, you see that the waters are actually very murky. They're actually very muddy, and it might be very hard to take your foot out. And unfortunately, many soon realize that they've dug a hole which some may never not even come out of, truly. I'm a public health major, and reported in the CDC, 2,100 middle school and high school students develop smoking habits, including such things like electronic cigarettes, and there's always new things coming out to cater to our weaker desires as humans. But 2,100 middle school and high school students developed habitual smoking habits, as well as another 2 million 18 and under kids reporting having smoked, and an exponential increase in nicotine and other substances like antidepressants and opioids, things such as Xanax and other sort of substances that have a dependency. And the 2,100 middle school and high school students are actually reported to have developed a habit every day. We have this. I ask myself, and I think to allow or try to influence others to ask themselves that, what is our true potential? What has Allah given us? What kind of gift has we given for us to actually bring ourselves down to let our naivety and our innocence, for instance, be taken away by our lesser desires as humans? Allah has made our potentials infinite. And when Allah states in Surah 32, verse 9, ثُمَّ صَوَّرْهُ وَنَفَخَ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِهِ وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Then He duly proportioned him, talking about Adam and Insan, breathed into him of His spirit, bestowed you with ears and eyes and hearts, and yet little do we give thanks to you, and little thanks do you give, stating about Adam. He states that we are of and from Allah, directly, the Lord. And the only way we can show this gratitude, the only shukr that Allah states in this ayah, is to utilize our freedom of thought. The only way to appreciate the phenomenon of our own creation is to be able to fully analyze any situation. Am I thinking based on rationale? Am I based on am I based on doing this thought because of influences of other things that I might not be thinking about at the moment? And to be able to follow the guidance given us, to follow the guidance given to us by all that Allah provides, such as the kitab, such as all the different lectures, the shaykhs, the people that can influence us. The path to Allah is not an easy path, but at the same time it was not designed to be easy. In Surah Baqarah, verse 155, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And we will surely test you with something of fear, emotion, hunger, physicality, a loss of wealth, tied back to fear, and lives, people around us, living and both dead, as well as, and fruits, blessings, for instance. However, but good tidings are given to the patient. The closest of those to Allah were the ones who were the most tested. Time and history shows that again and again. But although we won't be tested, such as cutting off our son's head, stated, but the same sacrifice and the same magnanimity of our sacrifices applies to us today. The test of Allah, I feel, can be compared to actually a school system. The lower grade you are, the easier the tests and the easier the materials. However, and the higher you go, the harder the tests and the harder the materials as well. However, the benefits of passing the higher division tests are so much innumerable as compared to, for instance, someone who drops out of the lower ones in our society. And that's on a small scale. Now, Allah's tests are, again, much harder, much more broad, and all of us are subject to tests for whatever aspect in our lives. However, passing the tests and the harder tests will prove to show that there are much more benefits that we cannot even count and not even think about. So Allah states the way to avoid such avarice, such as putting your trust into the wrong people or the wrong circumstance or the wrong situations and just giving your trust out and being gullible, by saying that we should never stop pursuing the truths in life, the truth in our religion, the truth about ourselves and our world and our people and people around us. It's the way to avert and see through any glitz or any glamour that others try to buy other people's trust with. You see, the first thing Allah tells our Prophet when he turned 40 is to read. Iqra. So we have to read into things. Read into questions of our own existence, about the intentions of others. What are people planning for me? What are people talking about me? Do they really care, for instance? I've seen plenty of examples within my own personal circles of people who have potentially been led straight by placing their trust into things that people advertise for themselves and have seen negativities of it. And don't be afraid of enduring hardships for our Lord. We must keep an open mind free of any judgment from anyone and to gain inspirations from anyone, whether they are similar to us or different. I conclude by stating something that Isaac Newton once said, is that I see all that I can see because I stand on the shoulders of giants. And what this means is that we shouldn't be afraid to pursue, read, go to lectures, read online. If you see someone stating something or showing off something, what's the truth behind it? What's the truth in the questions that we ask ourselves again? And a poem, actually, I believe told by Moana and many other from Arabian roots, which says, those who know and know they are wise, follow them. Those who know, but don't know, they are asleep, awake them. Those who don't know, but know they don't know, teach them. منظور اینه که اونایی که میدونن و میدونن که میدونن they are wise، باهوشن، دنبالشون باش. اونایی که میدونن ولی نمیدونن که میدونن خوابن، بیدارشون بکن. ولی اونایی که نمیدونن و نمیدونن که نمیدونن avoid them. نه those who don't know but آره نمیدونن ولی میدونن که نمیدونن، اونا رو باید درسشون داد. ولی اونایی که نمیدونن و نمیدونن که نمیدونن that's a triple negative.
Finally catch the bass.
Yes, I've said that I butchered it. I'm sorry, but it's my best attempt. ولی اونا رو avoid بکن because they will also lose you in the path as well. Thank you for listening, and again I thank you all for coming out, and inshallah all our prayers are accepted. I wish the best for all of you.
Thank you.